Welcome to the finale of this Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem video series. The reason why I know today's video will be the finale is because I previously streamed this section of the game on Twitch, and when I came to download the video on demand, it was unfortunately corrupted, meaning that here I am, re-recording this section of the game so that we can complete this full playthrough of Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem. So, without further ado, let's get started.
Deep into that darkness peering, long I stood there, wondering, fearing, doubting.
Now, what is of course rather unusual is to have this save state here, where our played time is 8 hours and 54 minutes, saved directly after the last save that I conducted of the game, with a total playthrough of 10 hours and 56 minutes. Thank goodness for save states that I was able to recover where I was up to in the game so I could complete this series. So, without further ado, let's load this saved game. Every single time that sound effect sends shivers down my spine. So here we are, we have just finished Alex's grandfather's backstory. Alex is in a good way. She has full sanity, she has full health, and yeah. I can't remember if we read the hidden note from Edward, but let's check it nevertheless. A small note written on a page from the Tome of Eternal Darkness. Dear Alex, I have left you a small surprise to keep you going when everything seems to go awry. It was my favourite tipple, and there are several barrels of it within the basement. Please help yourself to what you can find. My guess is that I won't be needing it. Your loving grandfather, Edward. Okay, so I happen to know that the next spot that we need to go to is actually upstairs. Whoops. So upstairs we will go. Oopsie daisy. So here, detail. The wallpaper in this section of the hallway is oddly marred, as though the wall it sits on is not even with the rest of the room. Actually, do you know what? Silly me. We do need to go to the basement first. Sorry, Alex, I can see you are tremendously out of breath, but let me assure you, it's vitally important that we go down there first. Okay, so the note hinted at the existence of some barrels of her grandfather's favourite tipple, and I should have took that as a hint that I needed to go down and look at these barrels here, because when we examine them, there is something stashed between the barrels of port. Should Alex pull it out? And we get the pickaxe. So now we can head back upstairs. And for all the sharp tools amongst us, I bet you can probably imagine what we're going to do with that pickaxe. So, we're going to take that pickaxe, and we're going to make a nice, fresh, brand new hole in the wall. And that was Maximilian Roivas, who is, I believe, Alex's great-great-grandfather, who went mad and killed all the servants, thinking that they were, in fact, some kind of elder god horror. He probably had a point. As you can see, the bloodstains still remain on the wall. We have a damage field here, which we can dispel using a dispel magic spell of the correct alignment. To dispel this one, we need to use... Oh my gosh, it's only been 2 weeks since I finished this game and I've completely forgot what all of them are. I believe I have to use a level 5 Zelatath. Nope. Okay, a level 5 Ulioth. That's a little bit better. So you can see there's 2 things here. An antique stethoscope seems accidentally dropped into the pile of ash, glints brightly in the light of the room. Should Alex retrieve this from the bed of ashes? Yes, she should. Detail. A scrap of paper unmarked by the fire lies amidst the bones and ashes. Should Alex retrieve the piece of paper? Yes, she should. And it's a journal, a page from the journal of Maximilian Roivas. So let's very quickly check out this journal, shall we? This is a page from Maximilian Roivas's journal. It reads, "As I contemplated these ideas, my suspicions of my servants grew, and I became increasingly fearful of them. I began to watch them carefully. Days ago I watched one of them stretch his neck. I could have sworn I saw it twist in a most peculiar direction, and a bulge of muscle tissue collect and grow in the most incorrect of manners, as if a bone was being displaced from its proper location and something else moving in its place. I stumbled away knowing that I was surrounded by unholy creatures that wore the skin of mortal men and women. I had to take action. Dear God, let my hand be swift and merciful, lest the world see more of these diabolical creatures." Right, so I now know that this is the point when we start to see creatures in the Roivas Manor. So let's turn ourselves invisible so we can just walk past them with impunity. Okay, I may be invisible, but the trappers still hear me. Again, one of the things I find really cool is this soldier here, who in the episode concerning the World War I journalist, we sent his body back here. Detail, a young man's body lies hunched against the wall of the platform. Blood from the vicious wounds surrounding his face and neck soaks the remnants of what appears to be a uniform with a sickly dark red. It's a nice little bit of continuity. Right, hopefully I can remain invisible until until I get down to the basement. So, earlier in the game, we spotted this large safe here. And now we can actually use the stethoscope to unlock the safe, because it allows us to hear when the tumblers drop into position. Now that Alex has the stethoscope, she can easily hear the tumblers inside. To open the safe, the dial should be turned to the right until the tumblers can be heard falling into place, then turned to the left until the same sound is heard, and finally the right until the sound of the safe being unlocked is heard. Should Alex try to open the safe? Yes, she definitely should. So, right, left, right. Now, I recall from my first run that I have to go right until about 60. So I'm going to go through this fairly quickly and then get a little bit more accurate as I get to 60. Okay, so that's the first tumbler. Now I need to roll it round until I get to about 80. So I can go all the way round. It's the gift that keeps on giving. So it's around about here. Okay. And then finally we have to go right until we get to 45. So when I get to 50, I'll slow down because it's not always exactly 45. And there we go, that's how you crack an old school safe. As the safe's door hinges open, its contents are revealed. Many important items left behind by Edward lie on the shelves inside. Should Alex collect the items? Yes, she should. She has acquired the essence of Chaturga, a crankshaft, a letter from Edward, her grandfather, and a chapter page entitled Ashes to Ashes.
A storm approaches, Augustus. A storm of metal and fire. And a torrent of souls along with it. Young and vibrant.
Yes, I have seen it coming. A worthy sacrifice, I am sure, and one that will allow the greater guardian that resides below to finish its channeling. With this sacrifice of souls I make unto thee, Great One, the gate shall be ready to be opened, and your freedom shall be at hand.
Oh, Augustus's plan is rapidly coming to fruition. So, before we read the chapter page, let's read the letter from Edward.
Dear Alexandra, if you are reading this, Alex, then I am surely dead. Knowing that the police will contact my only living relative, I made sure to leave this message for you. As I write this letter, Pius Augustus is waiting for his chance to strike me down for what I have done to the Guardian City. I believe I have slowed Augustus's plans, but not stopped them completely. He will still try to bring his ancient into this world. You must continue what our ancestor Max has started. You must gather the artifacts and call forth an ancient to combat what Augustus brings into this world. Of the artifacts, there are 4. but one of these is in the clutches of Pius himself. They are the Black Heart of Mantarok, the Claw of Cheturga, the Sigil of Zelototh, the Veil of Uliauth. Your skill in the arcane science will not be as strong as Pius's, who has had 2 millennium to prepare his gate. You will need all the remaining artifacts to match his power. It all rests with you, my dear. I wish you well in this desperate act. I wish I had more guidance for you, but I am at my wit's end, and I feel I am running out of time. Your loving grandfather, Edward.
That was a lovely letter from Edward, and I've got to say, once more, that the voice acting in this game is immaculate for its time. So let's read the last chapter page, Ashes to Ashes.
Wherever disaster and death lurk, there is likely to be an ancient just beyond our senses, waiting. They prey on our misfortune and exploit it toward their own twisted ends. When hundreds of oil fields are set ablaze on the heels of war, the ancient's grip tightens, knowing that lives will be forfeit and resources squandered. But a few people make a difference. People like Michael Edwards, a Canadian industrial firefighter hired to put an end to the insanity at the end of the war. Ironically for him, the insanity was just beginning.
How's the temperature in there?
It's hotter than hell here. I'm getting a little nervous about this one. It feels more out of control than the others. More powerful. I don't know how else to describe it.
This is the safest way to blow out these things. You've done this enough to know that. It's by the numbers. It's all good. Just relax.
The silicone cloth and the water spray are there, so you're probably right. We've got 500 pounds of 80% nitroglycerin-grade dynamite all in place. We're good to go.
Edward, you can pull your team back now. Get your team to a safe distance and we'll try to kill the fire.
Sure thing. Coming back now.
We're getting a pressure increase at the well cap. It's gonna tear itself apart. Hurry! Get your team out of...
What the hell happened? They're all dead! McCormick, Patterson, all gone. Looks like they've been buried alive under tons of concrete.
Take this. Guard it well. Many have perished for it. Take it. Take it to the ruins of Engal. At the ruins, a gathering of light.
You want me to take this to some ruins under a house in Rhode Island?
Take it. Save us. All.
Sensing the danger, Mike protects his hands from the insidious magic by using his coats to carefully pick the artifact from the debris-strewn floor. Michael has acquired the essence of Ulioth. We've also found the ruby effigy, the sapphire effigy, and that's it. So, we are already getting started with the monsters. So one of the biggest problems about this guy, he has, quite frankly, one of the worst sanity ratings of any character. Which is really difficult because before he comes to acquire the Tome of Eternal Darkness, he faces some real nasty creatures, which we will see in just a moment. So, examine. Oh, his poor colleagues. Detail. A desiccated corpse lies sprawled on the temple floor, dressed in desert combat fatigues. A rifle, pistol, and a variety of ammunition lie about him. The soldier appears to have gone down fighting. Should Mike collect the weapons? Yes, he absolutely should. Very, very nice. So what's really important is that we get the mode set correctly on this weapon. The mode will determine how much damage we ultimately do. And the best mode is in fact the free fire mode. It's the only one that's really going to get rid of many of the horrendous creatures that we're about to face in here. So these things are horrible. Thankfully I picked up a few tricks when I last played through in order to make them a little bit easier to defeat. One of which does include just unloading an entire round of the assault rifle's ammo directly into their head as they stand in front of you. And we have plenty of ammo, so we shouldn't run out, but for most other purposes I'm going to use the fire axe. So I don't believe there is anything in here. The door's blocked, so we should head on down. Oh. For the trappers, we can use the handgun, which does a tremendously good job of defeating them. The axe otherwise does a tremendously good job. Nearly missed a trapper there. I think the axe is for sure one of the more powerful weapons in this game. So with that corridor cleared, I know it seems like a bit of a waste of time, but I'm actually going to head backwards and start with the ladders from first to last. So that's the one we came down. Now I know there's a horrendous fight in this room, so I'm going to save my game here, save and continue, and hopefully we should be able to do it without too much of an issue. There we go. So, no messing about. first faced this room, I was trying so desperately to conserve ammo. And unfortunately, it just doesn't work like that. So, okay, I've got that item, which I wanted. I'm going to re-equip my axe. And you know what, actually? I'm going to re-equip the torch. Because it does make a little bit of a difference, to be honest with you. Despite there being some fire down here, it's important to have that light source too. With the exception of Kareem's brown dowel weapon, the axe is really, really good. It's fast and it hits hard. Okay, so we want this here, which is an odd battered staff lies upon the table. There is nothing else for us in here, I don't believe, in any of the many corners of the room. Nope. So we can combine the staff with the gold amulet, the meaning of which will become apparent in just a moment. It looks like a scale replica of the area. The model is made from clay and seems brittle. Some of the buildings appear to have been coated with a reflective glaze. So, let's use the staff. And this allows us to melt away some of the parts. Line it up correctly, of course. And then finally hit the one in the centre. Which will reveal a gap in the floor that we can go down. This is the point where Michael will find the Tome of Eternal Darkness. Much like every other time, Alex's grandfather now joins the many statues that line this area. Cradled in what appears to be a leathery hand lies a mysterious book. It is bound in human skin and intricately decorated with shrunken bones, beckons and knows to be possessed. Should Michael claim the Tome of Eternal Darkness? Yes, he should. So now he has the Tome of Eternal Darkness, he can cast spells rather brilliantly. And I'm going to cast a big invisibility spell, just on account of the fact that it gives me a little bit more of an element of surprise. However, it does not protect me against trappers. Where are you, other trapper? Okay. I think we've got them all. Because we are invisible, we now get the element of surprise on these two hunters. them easy as possible. This is one of these levels that, if you prepare really well, you'll do fine. So just make sure you're invisible or shielded, and that your ammo is well stocked. So now we find ourselves in some of the underground sections here. This is one of the things I've been looking for, so it's the Emerald Effigy. So I want to cast a Dispel Magic spell. It needs to be 7 points and it needs to be Chaturga. Ah yes, I'd forgotten that these unwelcome visitors turned up. And those guys just remove sanity without really doing any damage. But you also can't recover any sanity either, which is problematic, of course. So, what's up here? Being invisible, a tremendous benefit. Okay, so I don't know if this is the way forward. I always get a little bit lost here, so I'm just going to... I'm just going to lose my invisibility right now. That was a very inconvenient time to lose my my invisibility, but hey, it is what it is. If I'm not mistaken, I think this maybe loops back to the first room. Yeah, so this is where we found the gold amulet there, if you remember correctly. So actually, I've come the wrong way. That's no problem. A small backtrack will get us back on our path. So ordinarily we would have come this way, found the Emerald Effigy, and potentially gone up this ladder here. Let's focus on the big boy. I wondered why he didn't come and attack me. He was just walking around on his own over here, headless. So just in the event that we lose any more sanity, I just want to do a quick recover of my sanity. Spell list recover. The better position we can keep Michael in, the better our chances of survival. One of these big boys here. Good job, we are ready and prepared for him. No messing about, just unload the clip straight into it. Unexpected room full of trappers. Even having played through this once before, I completely forgot that they were there. Michael has some of the worst sanity stats I've ever known in my entire life, so it's really important to keep him top dog. Okay, so before I go into this room, just to for my own sanity, I'm going to just save the game. But in here we find a really we found a really important puzzle we've been spending the entire game building up to. So you'll notice earlier that we got the ruby effigy, we got the sapphire effigy, but we also got the emerald effigy down in the tunnels, and in this room what we have to do is place the bowing effigies in front of the colour alignment which defeats them. So I know, for instance, that Chaturga is defeated by... that Zelatath, the green one, is defeated by Chaturga, which is the red one. I know for a fact that Ulioth, which is the blue one, defeats Chaturga, the red one. And then finally, I know that Zelatath, the green one, defeats Ulioth, the blue one. Placing these correctly, we have unlocked a secret path. Now bear in mind that we have spent the entire game collecting those 3 effigies. So if you even miss one, then there is no opportunity to unlock this secret path. What you find down here is a pedestal. And it says, cradled on a stone display plinth is an enchanted gladius. Energy writhes across its surface, pulsing through the surrounding air. So, Michael picks that up, but he can't use it. So if we check it, it says, this gladius carries a powerful enchantment. This unique weapon can only be wielded by the destined owner, the Guardian of Light. So, who is that? I guess we will find out. So, first and foremost, I'm going to notice that my way here is blocked. Detail. A strange obelisk made from a dark granite-like material. It appears to be blocking the way forward, but the obelisk appears to be impervious to all damage. So, given that it's impervious to all damage, here's what we can do. We can summon ourselves a little trapper. select the stone and send it to the Trapper dimension. And our way is unbarred. Oh, I hear trappers. Ah, two of them. Like brother and sister. So, our way is blocked. Our way is blocked, so I guess this is the way we want to go. Let's get our axe and head on down. And here is a scroll. A shrine fashioned from disinterred human remains stands at the far end of the room. Resting in the arms of the bone trestle is a scroll of paper covered with arcane scribblings. So we've discovered the bind spell, which allows us to essentially bind a creature to our servitude. It's very convenient that we receive this at this exact moment, because, watch this. So, do I have all levels of bind? No, I don't. So, just to check it, I need Bankarok and Aratak just to recreate the spell at the highest levels. So, new spell, Chaturga, Bankarok, Aratak, and then at the last level, Chaturga, so, in order to... they are green, so we know that Chaturga has dominion over green creatures. So let's cast a level 8 bind creature with the Chaturga. Ah! I don't have the energy to do that. The NG now, after a little run around, which is one of the things that I dislike about this character. He gets some really cool items, modern day weaponry and a super cool axe, but man, his sanity is so poor and his mana pool is so poor. Right, let's try again, shall we? Cast level 8th. Fighter is successful. And we finish off the one that we'd bind as well. So we find a block of explosives, probably left over from the war. A disembodied voice telling us to destroy something. Always good for the old sanity. Speaking of sanity, he's in quite good shape, but I want to just recover some of his lost health. Very nice. Back upstairs we go. And one of the things you'll notice here is that if you've watched the other parts of the series, there was a doorway here. There isn't now. Detail. An innocuous panelled wall caps this end of the room. It is conspicuously empty by comparison to the other walls of the room. So I don't know what level we need to cast Reveal Invisible, so I'll just cast level 1. Okay, it clearly needs more than that. And I am quite low on mana, so let's see if we can... Have we got enough mana to do a big one? There we go. So it needs a much bigger spell in order to do that. Okay. Examine. Detonator caps for C4 plastic explosives. Handle with care. Right, okay. So, I'm very low on mana. And I need to put a shield up in order to save me from this field here. I can just do a little one, I think. It will take a little bit of damage, but it's not the end of the world. As I say, mana is a real problem for Michael. He is just rubbish. Okay, so we've got some of our friendly pit dwellers again. So there's nothing over here. And I need to mix the detonator cap with the plastic explosives to create a C4 bomb. I also need to do a couple of other things before continuing, which includes, first and foremost, casting a recover health spell. So that he is in good shape. Can I save here? Because it gets a little bit intense after this, I'll be honest with you. So... For centuries, evil has been channeled through this pit, countless souls sacrificed to the darkness. Someone must end this madness. A bomb placed here would be enough to pull the already collapsing city down into oblivion, destroying everything inside. So if we try to place the bomb, it makes it clear, even with all the explosives, there is probably not enough to bring down the city. There must be some way of making it more powerful and increasing its damage potential. Well, there is. And we know there is. Because we have the enchant item spell. And in utilizing that spell, we have created a super powerful bomb. So when we examine again, we get the same message. Or if we try to use it, we get that Mike has activated the bomb's timer. The countdown has begun. Almost in answer, a deep, low rumbling begins to reverberate through the dungeon. Mike has 3 minutes to escape the Forbidden City and get to safety.
T-minus 3 minutes till detonation.
So first and foremost, we need a big Manta Rock invisible. Because we do not want to get caught by any monsters on our way out. Such as, for example, that guy right there. We do want to make sure, however, we stay in a good state of health. As you can see, lots of monsters that have appeared as a result of us planting the explosives.
2 minutes till detonation.
Flashback. Or rather a hallucination.
Ah, sweet Alex. Many centuries I've waited for you. You are mine. Don't disappoint me now. I've waited such a long time, Alex.
Never! I know what you are. I've seen what happened.
You can try to fight me, but in the end you shall succumb to my desires. My foolish child, you don't even know your own destiny.
Get away from me!
Nothing quite like an insanity fever dream. All these monsters we can just safely walk past, eh?
Thanks for coming. I didn't think you'd show.
Look, I have no idea who you...
I think you do. Just as much as I know you know. Now let's be quick. The Guardians know where I am and I won't last the night. But that's not the point.
What's this?
Something you need. Don't open it here. Only in privacy. They can sense it if it's not shrouded.
Is it one of the artifacts?
You must leave now. Look, there's something I have to do before they get to me. I can't protect you if they find us. Good luck!
Is in a bad way. She's very insane. So let's bring her back to total sanity, shall we? I always forget that these guys are here. So let's... Gosh, there's so many of them. So, we now have this room here where a thin bit of light has come through the telescope. So let's use our newly found crankshaft to change this, shall we? Ah, there we go. There's one on there. Okay, so we found our first one. our second one into position. And finally, let's get our third one into position. Right there. And the room that we found locked in the basement earlier has now opened. For ease, let's keep ourselves invisible for... because there are still plenty of monsters. Ooh. So a mysterious parcel has been left on our doorstep. Let's go find what's in the mysterious parcel, shall we? Detail. A package wrapped in brown paper has been left inside the door. What is inside it? Let's check it out. A parcel wrapped in plain brown paper. It is not addressed to anyone and appears to have been wrapped in a hurry. There might be something inside. Should Alex open it? Yes, of course she should. She has acquired the essence of Ulioth, and she has acquired the enchanted gladius, which she can equip because she is the intended recipient. Alex is the Guardian of Light. And as you can see, her gladius now has a permanent 8th level enchantment. Which is super strong. It's going to make the final battle so much easier. So, down to this doorway that has now opened for us. With the lid removed, some kind of well-like entranceway is revealed. A ladder leads down into the murky darkness. Was this Edward's route into the Guardian City? Should Alex climb down the ladder? Yes, of course she should. And she should face her destiny as the Guardian of Light. As the tome had suggested by Edward and Maximilian's words, the city exists and is far more incredible than Alex had thought. Here are the ruins of Engar, the corpse city, parasitized by the guardians of Zelatath. 9 great towers dwarf the surrounding buildings. It would appear these towers serve as some kind of focusing array, channeling great tides of energy from the city itself. And we are going to use those now to do, I think, one of the most annoying quests in the entirety of this game, which is to go to every single tower and activate a rune, which you have to do twice, and it takes forever. Anyway, here we go. So the floor will damage us. So we need to make sure that we have a shield at all times. Very quickly gets used up. We now need to dispel a green, so we need Chatur. Oh no. That's pretty disastrous. Last time I got that perfectly. So the problem is, of course, that mana takes forever to recover. So let me just check magic pool. So check. This magic transfers the innate magical energy of the environment to the self. The limitless power of the ancients will be at your disposal for the duration of the magic. Once the magic has waned, you will be bereft of spiritual power until it naturally seeps back into your being. I think a magic pool will probably be a good idea right now. Because as you can see, mana is literally very quickly coming back to us. And it's significantly better than just waiting. So, spell list. Shield. And then we need enough mana to dispel that glyph on the floor over there. Spell magic. Cast big. A minor inconvenience. So, detail. The podium is heavily damaged, crumbling into rubble and dust. If it is to be used, it must somehow be restored to its former self. So, we can find part of a broken pedestal here. And there is another one over here. In order to repair them, we can use some trusty magic. Mix the two of them together. And then we can use spell, enchant item, which will repair the item for us. And now we can use it to create the third pedestal. And we need to place each of the ancient essences on here. So let's place Ulioth's essence there. Let's place Chatur's essence here. And then finally, let's place Mantarok's essence here. So now we have the other three artifacts from the ancients who can potentially power up our mega spell. So just to keep everything ticking, let's keep our shield nice and high. And now go through the process of activating each of these runes. So trappers are a problem, and I discovered that magical attack is great at getting rid of them. Fantastic. So, examine. There is a hole in the floor. And if we use a big reveal invisible... Oh, maybe it has to be a specifically aligned reveal invisible. There we go. It needed to be a red aligned. Reveal invisible. Okay, first array has been activated. Let's do the second one. Okay, so at this point we get a choice of runes that we need to apply, and essentially if we get this wrong then the summoning will fail, and we really don't want that because I very much would like to not have to come back to this section. So we are going to summon our own ancient to defeat Pius Augustus's ancient, so we need the creature rune, Aratak. No. Aratak, there we go. Oh, trappers. So let's use another magical attack. It does such a magnificent job of clearing the room for us. So we should have enough shield to get through safely. As always, it's really important to make sure that we stay topped up. So, array number 3. And this is just going to be a simple Pargon power rune. Oh yes, I forgot about this room. So, I think it will be a good idea for me to cast a magic pool. It should allow me to cover health pretty quickly. So, first and foremost, it wants me to summon a blue trapper. So, summon trapper. Next, it wants me to summon a red zombie, which I've just seen in the corner of the room. Even at full speed, these guys are slow. And then finally, I need to summon a green horror over here. I need the mana pool to do me proud and fill up my mana really quickly. So, new spell, summon horror, green. Okie dokie. and our way is unbarred, allowing us to continue this installment of Walking Simulator. Trapper. Well, we know what that means. A nice little magical attack. And he is past tense. Now, this room's weird. I'm going to trigger it just to show you what happens. So if I just step on the floor... Alex loses so much sanity, and she's unable to escape that horrendous creature. She realises that the whole thing was a hallucination. Now, in order to get past, you have to press the sneaky sneak button and very carefully sneak across this section of the floor, which will mean that the giant, horrible, sanity-sapping worm does not come for us. And then we can escape. As always, quite important to keep our shield topped up, so let's do just that. This is where we choose the Elder that we want to summon, the Elder God. And because we're fighting Zelatath, who is the green alignment, we want to summon Chaturga, who is more powerful. He dominates the green alignment. Trappers once more. Let's magical attack them. It's actually super satisfying to use magical attack. I only realised that you could use magical attack to basically clear a room in my last run, and I've never looked back. Shield topped up. Another trapper. Like his friends, he is now a trapper in the past tense. So I forgot about this room. So in order to affect these trappers, first and foremost, you have to cast a Reveal Invisible. I don't know if you have to do a max level one, but I will do just because I don't want to cast it twice. see them, and they are everywhere. But now that we can see them, we can magical attack them. Super satisfying. I think we have 3 more towers left to activate, and then we are on to the final battle of the game. So keep that shield topped up. So this room caught me off guard last time because I wasn't quite sure exactly what to do with each of these runes. But I discovered a great way to clear the 3 of them. Essentially, you're supposed to use a magical attack of the dominant alignment to defeat the submissive alignment. But here's the thing, if you actually use a magical attack at level 7, which I'll have to just craft real quickly. So check, we need Antibok and Redgamore. Antibok. You can actually use a single magical attack with the Mantarok rune to defeat and in one fell swoop, they're all gone. Much easier than casting magical attack 3 times. So we need to top up our shield. And just as a general tip, it's always so important to regularly save your game. So I'm going to do just that. So let's do the last 2. Now in the second to last tower here, we're going to be asked to select one of many runes. So as I've mentioned, we are summoning an Elder God. So we have already chose the creature rune on another tower. We now need to choose the tier rune, which is the rune to summon a summon. So we're summoning a creature, or rather, we're summoning an Elder God. Spell list, dispel magic. and final room. This last room should be a Pargon power, which will be the last component in the spell to summon our ancient. To the end of the game awaits. And naturally, of course, we have one more obstacle that stands in our way. So I'm going to use the magical pool spell just to make sure I get some better in. And then I need to bind one of these guys to make them fight each other. No intention of sticking around and waiting for this guy to want to kill me. Yep, okay, I deserve that. I did not have the time to set up a shield. But greedily, I tried to. So it kind of leaves me now in a bit of an annoying pickle because I have to wait for my mana to recover. Do I have enough for a magic pool, please? So that should hopefully just recover my mana at a slightly more accelerated rate, so I can get the shield necessary to get me to the room. There would be nothing worse than dying right now. Right at the very last hurdle. To just make sure that we are and we need to make sure that we are at full sanity. And finally, I just want to set a quick spell. So it's really important for me to have a shield available. So spell list, shield, level 3, Chaturga. Silly me. So I want to assign a level 3 Chaturga shield to the down button, because that's pretty much all I'm going to cast in this battle, all going well. Before you proceed, would you like to save your current progress? Yes, I would, because this is the end of the game. Let's do it. Let's go and face our destiny.
Ah, Miss Rivers, you're just in time. The summoning spell I began 2,000 years ago is finally complete. You will now have the honor of becoming the first morsel for my Lady Zelototh. An appetizer for the banquet your race shall provide.
You forget what it means to be human, Pious. The human race will never go quietly into the darkness. For as long as you have spent summoning your lord, people have struggled against you. Now, thanks to their efforts, I have 3 of the Ancient's essences. Now, Pious, this is the end!
The end indeed.
So, shield straight away. I was not expecting to have to recover so much sanity. So the spirits of my ancestors now come to aid me. But if you get hit, unfortunately they go away. So it's really important I try and get a bit of sanity back. dispelling my shield as well, which is really annoying. So, for each ancestor that appears, you have to hit him once. Oh, come on, Anthony. Come on, dude. Go and hit that essence of Zelatath. Go and do it. Go and do it. No, abort. Oh no, he got hit again. Come on, Kareem. Get him this time. Oh, it's really hard to hit him with Kareem, because Kareem has like a really sort of wide arc attack. There we go. Come on, Kareem, hit it. Yeah, that's what we need you to do. So here's Chaturga and Zelatath, the two ancients fighting it out in space. I love the fact that Chaturga just literally gives her a right hook. You know, Zelatath is so confident, and yet Chaturga is the dominant power between the two of them. Okay, so now it's just me and Pius. So Pius keeps dispelling my shield. Oh no, it's not me and Pius yet. I still have to cycle through some of my elders. Come on, Maximilian. Oh, he got hit. Dude. Come on, Maximilian, you can do it. You can do it. ball, Luca. You can do it. It's our Italian friend. I can't remember his name. It's so slow. Roberto Bianchini, that's it. Come on, Roberto, you can do it. No, do it. Augustus. His god has been defeated. It's just us now. Thank goodness for our enchanted gladius, which makes this battle so much easier. Come on, you weak fool. Look how weak he is now. He's hobbling. There he is.
Darkness is not so easily destroyed. No, my death is just the beginning.
What have I done?
Quickly, Alex! We must find this creature! It cannot be allowed to remain in this universe!
So, we have summoned our own Elder God to defeat Pius Augustus's, but now we have the problem that we have summoned an Elder God into this universe who will create his own evil machinations, destroy the human race. So what can we do but to bring in Ulioth to protect us during this time?
Ah, that's the ticket. It is finally over, my dear. The Ancients' plans are finished. For now, at least. You have proved to be an incredibly courageous young woman. Your mother and father would have been proud of you, just as I am. I'm sorry it had to be like this. It's not quite the inheritance I had in mind for you, but there was so little time, and so much to do. Goodbye, Alex. I will miss you.
As I gazed up at the ancient I had brought into this world to stop Pius, my mistake was made clear. This ancient could lay the world to ruin just as easily as Pius's would have. And yet, as quickly as it began, it ended. To think that once I could not see beyond the veil of reality, to see those who dwell behind. I was once a fool.
And that is the end of this series on Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem. It's one of my favourite games, and I hope now that you can see why. As a short retrospective for this game released so long ago, the one thing that I will say about this is, when Pius Augustus said, "The end of this game, my death is only the beginning," I really do wish that that was in fact the truth, for I would love nothing more than to see more from this particular franchise, especially with the benefit of modern graphics and the benefit of brand new, fresh storytelling, which could really bring this franchise to life. It's a unique system whereby, instead of just telling you the stories of each individual character, you play them. You play those stories. You are invested in each of them. You know their struggles, their successes, their tragedies. You know how that one individual fits into this grand narrative that is the Tome of Eternal Darkness, as well as 2,000 years of Pius Augustus's machinations to bring his elder god into this world, such that when you do finally face him as Alex Roivas in the present day, you know exactly how you've got there. And I think there's something really fascinating about that idea, that you discover both who your character is and who their heritage and lineage is at the same rate as your character does. I feel that theme touches heavily on another one of my favourite games, Planescape Torment, where in that game you wake up on a mortuary slab and you have amnesia, you have no idea how you've got there. And you learn who your character is at the same rate that your character does. And I think that mechanism creates a tremendous amount of investment in the story and the characters, making all of these little references that you see along the way and perhaps don't understand at the time all of a sudden make sense. And there's something wonderful about that. And that is what this game does for me. It creates that satisfaction through investment, such that when you finally get to the end of the game and Pius Augustus's evil machinations come to fruition, you're invested in stopping them. I just think it's brilliant. So that is my short retrospective of this game while the credits run. And I'm going to let them roll out because I think it's really important to recognise every single person who was involved in bringing this game to life. And with that, I say thank you to anybody who has had the patience and perseverance to work their way through the entirety of this stream. And I thank you for tuning in. The one thing I will say before we finish, you will have noticed that just before the credits rolled, I was asked whether I would like to save my game. The reason for that is, once you have completed the game, competing against one of the ancients, your save file is flagged as having defeated that ancient. To get the true ending of this game, you have to defeat all 3 ancients. However, that's for another time. And with that note, I say thank you very much for those who have tuned in. And if you have liked this series, if you want to see more, please like this video and please subscribe. And I promise to bring you more content much like this. Thank you very much and take care.